I just got back from the theater from watching the new movie Insidious Out of the Further, and I just want to say I am super surprised about this movie because it's one of my favorite movies of 2026. Now in this video there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, drop a like and come back after you've seen the film. Now the last few movies in the Insidious franchise really disappointed me, and I genuinely thought that they weren't that great. So when I knew that this movie was coming out, I decided to not look at any trailers, and I had no idea what this movie was going to be about until I sat down in the theater. Now I won't be going through the entire movie in this video, but I will be talking about some of my favorite scenes, characters, and then we'll be talking about the ending. First off, Insidious Out of the Further does something that has never happened in an Insidious movie before, as it shifts focus to a mix of paranormal and cult activity. The main villains in this movie are the demon Cyrus, as well as his real-life followers named the Acolytes. The Acolytes are the two women and the man who are just constantly in the neighborhood of Gemma, and they are honestly extremely creepy from the start. We learn throughout the movie that the Acolytes are the living cult who grew up following Cyrus. We get a brief moment in the movie where we can see on a TV Cyrus talking to his followers, and I believe they mentioned that he died at the hands of his followers, but now he has more followers in the Further and has promised them a way back, and the way back in this movie is through Gemma. Gemma is the main character in this film and is known as a courier. Unlike Dalton and Josh from the past Insidious movies, she not only can travel to the Further, but she can bring things back from the Further, including her flashlight earlier on in the film, and a pin that one of the demons gives her. Now, I personally loved the Acolyte aspect of this movie. It was super cool to see that there were just cult followers who had discovered the Further, and they had the ability to manipulate Gemma as they killed her neighbors, and I believe sometimes they even broke into her house in order to get her into these terrified moments that would lead her into the Further. Now, one of my favorite characters in this movie is Elise, played by the talented Lin Shaye, as she has been in every single Insidious movie. Her role in this movie I really liked because she kind of pops out of nowhere, like she is just this huge Marvel cameo, and she just starts kicking butt and saves Gemma when she is in the Further earlier on in the movie. With the help of Elise, Gemma is able to contact Claire, and in the tattoo shop, Elise is able to take control of Claire and talk to Gemma. Now, the main goal for Cyrus throughout this movie, and what he has promised all of his followers in the afterlife, is that he will bring them back to the living through Gemma. Gemma's boyfriend Nick does not believe her at first, but once he has a supernatural experience when Gemma brings back one of the ghosts and it's crawling through her room, he knows that they need to make a plan. So Gemma, Claire, Nick, and Elise from the afterlife make a plan, and that is for Nick to find and wake up the sedated Acolytes. And while this is happening, Gemma would go to the Further and with Elise bring him through the red door and lock him in there for good. Now, the ending of this movie was one of my favorites in any of the Insidious movies because there is so much action, scares, and just something different that we have never seen before. Now, something that has been going on throughout this movie is that Gemma's relationship with her daughter is now draining, just like the relationship with her mother was draining towards the end before she took her own life. And Gemma despised her mother for abandoning her. When night falls and they are ready to execute the plan, Gemma brings her daughter to a babysitter, and after going into the Further and meeting up with Elise, they realize that something is wrong. In order to try and protect themselves, the Acolytes put themselves under the floorboard and sedate them, and Nick is able to wake up two of them but cannot find the man. It is at this moment when Elise and Gemma are able to go through the red door, and what they see are her memories and what happened to her mom. They find out that her mom was really the first one targeted by Cyrus, and this means that her being a courier was genetic and that Maya is a courier as well. Cyrus had used a little bit of a misdirection on Gemma and was actually going for Maya with the help of the Acolyte Lester. Since Gemma is also a courier, Cyrus is able to use her and start bringing a bunch of ghosts back from the dead. Now, this was one of my favorite parts about the movie because this was the first time ever that a demon has truly traveled back from the Further and was just planning to take over the world. Cyrus is able to get through and kills the babysitter right away, and then he begins using Maya to bring back all of these demons. It looks like there's going to be no happy ending. Gemma is being brought to Cyrus and all these demons are around them and her daughter, but that is when Elise goes up into the attic and possesses the body of Lester and walks straight in and takes Maya out of the house. This sets up Gemma to show how good of a courier she really is, and although we've only seen her taking objects from the Further into the real world, she ends up being able to transport the entire house back to the Further with everyone in it. Cyrus, who is extremely mad at this, kills all of the Acolytes so they will not be coming back to terrorize the family. and Gemma quickly gets back into her body while all the demons attack Cyrus for failing to fulfill his promise. Gemma didn't even have to fight him in the end because his followers turned straight on him and returns back to her body and reunites with Nick, Claire, and her daughter Maya. Now, in my opinion, this was just a solid movie that went together really well. Everything was truly explained in this film. There wasn't really anything open-ended, and that's why I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. A lot of the scenes were really good. I loved the fort scene, the dentist scene, and we even get a post-credit scene at the end of the movie which shows Cyrus getting his teeth drilled by the dentist demon, and I was very surprised by this movie. So let me know in the comments, what did you think about the movie Insidious Out of the Further? I think it's really going to enter into my top 3 Insidious movies and may even be better than the second film.